The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all.
Get ready to dive into the comic book realm where heroes rise and villains take the helm. We're here to dissect the stories and the art. A source material, we tear the panels apart. Welcome to the source material show now. We don't hold back, we won't let you down. From Batman to Spider-Man, it's all fair game. We'll talk about the heroes, the villains, and everything in between. Oh yeah.
My goodness.
I was gonna say, you gotta unmute yourself there, pal.
Oh, do I really have to?
This is your show.
I don't want to do that.
I'm the guest. I'm gonna do shit.
You are the guest. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Source Material Comics Podcast. I am on the mend. Let's just put it that way.
You've been puking your guts out?
Let me tell you, Friday night was not fun.
No.
And Saturday was just miserable. But luckily this
Instead
morning,
of Friday night lights, you had Friday night heaves.
oh boy, it was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah.
And I was the fourth of the household to get it. I was really hoping I could avoid it, but nope. So I've got my Gatorade here. I'm making it through. I'm feeling a lot better today. Thank goodness.
Well, I appreciate you not canceling the show.
Oh, well, yeah, I would have definitely given you way ahead of time. It came close yesterday, but I was like, I'll see how I'm doing Sunday morning. And I was doing all right. So although I took, I slept about 13 hours.
Nice.
And then, then I took a nap today for about an hour. So I'm well rested and well hydrated. And we are going to be talking about Bruce Wayne murderer slash fugitive, because I feel like we get into that storyline here as we are talking. A total of 23 issues. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so this crossover storyline was divided into two graphic novels and two trade paperbacks, and then it was eventually combined into one. We're talking about the one. I have the floppy. I have the trade paperback.
That's a thick daddy.
This is so thick, daddy. And yeah, Bruce Wayne breaks out of Blackgate about 2/3 of the way through Murderer. So the next book that we'll do at the end of the month, Fugitive, he's been on the lam already. But
yeah,
this is your show.
Well,
you're like the Brian Last of my Jim Cornette, and this is the Cornette Q&A show. This is your show, Brian.
Indeed. Do me a favor, because I think that you covered this and I cannot remember. Did you guys talk about No Man's Land at one point?
Okay, so I've never done a No Man's Land show.
Okay.
So if you didn't cover it, it's never been covered, but it's been mentioned a bunch.
I was going to say Sheehan must have done something on it, because I remember that being mentioned at one point. And I swear that you were involved somehow, and I was definitely most likely confused. But regardless, No Man's Land definitely happens before this, because this is 2002 DC. This takes.
They reference No Man's Land in this. They're like, Bruce Wayne can't murder anyone. He practically rebuilt this city, as if those two things are mutually exclusive.
Right. So this definitely.
I wish it had been written now, because they would have said Bruce Wayne eats babies. Just throw that out there.
Okay. So yeah, we got. I've divided this into 3 parts. I know that I didn't have a chance to tell you exactly how we're going to be doing this tonight, but we're going to do parts 1 through 8 first, and then we'll do the next section of 8 books, and then I think the last. I think I had 23 or 24 books in this thing. So
you agreed to this schedule when you realized what this was. Were you like, I told him not to do this?
Well, it's funny because I sent you the message and I said, do me a favor, tell me what's on the back of the book, because there's two renditions of this book. One that occurred, oh my goodness. I know the one that you have is the 2014 version, and it has way more issues in it, like almost double the issues as the original trade paperback.
Oh, really?
Almost. I think it cuts off at issue 599 of I want to say it's Batman or Detective Comics. I can't remember.
Okay, I'll just read it. Collects some of the most groundbreaking Batman stories in Batman: The 10-Cent Adventure.
That's where we start.
Comics 766 through 770, Batgirl 24 and 27, Nightwing 65 and 66, 68 and 69, Gotham Knights 25 through 29, Birds of Prey 39 through 41, Robin 98 and 99, and Batman 599 through 602. It is concluded in the next volume, Batman Bruce Wayne Fugitive, DC Comics 7814. Sorry, I was reading the skew.
Yeah, read us the skew, please. We need that for documentation. Yeah, the original, I think, graphic novel cuts off at issue 599 for Batman. So, like, there's a whole other, like, bunch of issues attached to this thing, which is fine. You know, we're making our way through, and I will tell you that there are some issues that definitely feel very adjacent, like as in like very Farley adjacent.
I was Farley, yes, Chris Farley adjacent. I no, but I agree with you. There's some stuff that I kind of just skim read. I'm like, golly, I wish this had stuck with the actual like Bruce Wayne murderer storyline and didn't go into this tomfuckery where Batman's doing other shit that has nothing to do with like trying, you know. I'm going to let you lead your show and talk about this, but boy, do I have a lot to say about his decision to basically kill the Bruce Wayne persona and just exist as Batman.
Okay.
Which is like the whole point of this whole storyline.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead. I'm not going to give the creative teams here. I'll probably do that in post edit. That's fine. There's a lot, you know, this is 2000 Batman.
Is that where you cut me out of the entire podcast and I get like 5 minutes, you know, 2 minutes to like 50
you figured it out.
You're going to do? Oh, God, I fucking heard that Joe the Barbarian show, and I was like, motherfucker, cut me out of the show.
I did not cut you out. I think I cut mostly. I did not get most of what I wanted out, I think is what happened, and I stuck me there. You were in there plenty. That was all you. If I remember correctly, like
the podcast is like 17 minutes long and 15 of it's you.
Well, okay,
and then there's me talking for 2 minutes straight. You're like, all right, that's the Source Material Podcast. Thanks, everybody.
I think that's all you had to contribute, though. Like you were, there was very.
I didn't have a lot to say.
There was very little that you could contribute to that one for some reason.
Sorry,
all right,
Jeff, if you want to cut me out of it, that's fine.
Oh yeah. You have no idea.
Erica was complaining to me earlier today. She's like, "You do so many podcasts, and I just feel like I never see you." She fucking lives with me, but that's okay. And she's like, you confine me to the bedroom, like she's fucking tied up in there or whatever. I was like,
confined.
Like, you want to come out and put your boobs on my head? I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna no sell you. But if you want to like come out, and molest me like while I'm doing the podcast, that's fine. I haven't said you had to stay in the bedroom. I said, you can't parade across my HIPAA protected fucking therapy sessions is what I said. You want to fuck with my podcast? I do it to her all the time. She's on a live and I'm just screaming from across the room, like, I'm doing fine. So thank you for liking the live. People on her live are like, who the fuck is yelling?
Nice. Very nice. Well, then I guess I'll be ready for any unexpected surprises tonight then.
Yeah, please. Please just ignore my girlfriend if she walks out and puts her boobs on my head.
All right. So, yeah, let me go ahead and we'll get into the summary of these first 8 books, and then I'll, let you get in your shots here. Yep. So, Bruce Wayne's nightmare begins in the Batman 10-Cent Adventure, where the murder of Vesper Fairchild shatters what little personal stability he had left. After a relentless night as Batman, saving lives but failing to save everyone, Bruce returns home to find Vesper dead in Wayne Manor, only for police to arrest him for her murder.
I have so much to say about this first fucking issue.
The evidence appears damning, and Bruce offers little defense.
Evidence? What? Sorry, continue.
Bruce offers little defense. As his past trauma is dragged into public view, the city begins to see him not as Gotham's greatest benefactor, but as a potential killer. From the very start, Bruce withdraws emotionally, choosing silence even as his life unravels.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that Bruce Wayne was in the Epstein files.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy.
Timely jokes.
No wonder he disappeared, and he's on the and he's not really on the lam. Trust me, he's dead.
And he weirdly he goes back to the Epstein Island. No one understands why.
It's crazy. As the investigation intensifies in Detective Comics and Gotham Knights, Bruce and Sasha Bordeaux plead not guilty. Sasha, by the way, is his bodyguard who actually knows he's Batman and was actually with him the night that this happened. But the mounting evidence, including a gun registered to Bruce and a chilling 911 recording, paints a grim picture. Bail is denied, conspiracy charges are added, and media scrutiny turns his childhood tragedy into motive. Bruce refuses help from those closest to him, including Barbara Gordon, and isolates himself further. Even as Cassandra Cain, Batwoman, deduces, or no, that's Batgirl. Even as Cassandra Cain deduces that Bruce and Batman are one and the same, and the Bat family quietly mobilizes to clear his name, Bruce remains distant, seemingly more concerned with protecting his identity than defending himself. Meanwhile, his absence destabilizes everything around him. Dick Grayson is ordered to stay out of the investigation. Tim Drake is left vulnerable without guidance, and Alfred is forced into damage control as Wayne Enterprises falters. Evidence surfaces suggesting Vesper had been investigating Batman, hinting that Bruce may be the target of a larger calculated frame-up. Still, Bruce refuses to explain himself, allowing the world to believe the worst rather than risk exposing his mission. His silence, meant to protect the greater cause, only deepens the perception of guilt. By the time Batman number 599 unfolds, Bruce's imprisonment becomes strategic rather than passive. Inside Blackgate, he endures public vilification and escalating prison violence while prosecutors attempt to turn Sasha against him. Though he could escape at any moment, he chooses to remain until a staged attack in his cell gives him the opportunity to shed the Bruce Wayne facade and reassert control. Brutally defeating his attackers, he allows the media to see him as unstable, even dangerous. But as he watches the bat signal from behind bars, it's clear this is no surrender. Bruce Wayne is not simply surviving prison. He is maneuvering within it, playing a longer game that only he fully understands. So there's our first 8 issues, I believe is what we got there. So what are you thinking here, Mark?
So I want to go again and set this up. Bruce Wayne and his bodyguard,
Sasha Bordeaux,
which doesn't sound pornographic at all.
Totsy.
Yeah, really. Sasha bedroom fucker. Right, stick trick. They're out on patrol. They're beating up ne'er-do-wells. They're doing Batman stuff. And then they come home. They take off their costumes. And Bruce Wayne walks out and he sees Vesper Fairchild on the ground. And she's been shot in the back like 5 times. And she is long dead. She has been laying there for quite a while. In a puddle of her own blood. And then the cops instantaneously, as if they were waiting for him to come there, kick open the door, see this guy weeping in sorrow, holding her like, please don't be dead, woman I love who was shot in the back 5 times. And they're like, get up, you're under arrest. Look, I know comic books are not real life, but that is not how that goes.
Correct.
Like, they would at least like, can you drop the dead body and come outside and talk to us and tell us?
Well, let's get a picture of what happened. From the guy that's there.
I'm not saying they wouldn't have had charges on him. Not at the scene of the crime. Not the way that was presented. And unless it comes out, and it does not come out in this story. Like, I'm making a big deal about this because I read the whole book and I was waiting for because I'm watching this. I'm like, that's not how an arrest would go. Like, they just don't. They don't arrest everybody at the scene of a crime. That's just kind of hanging out. They actually have to either catch you in like had he walked in holding a gun, or had they walked in and he was holding a gun standing over her. Okay, then I get it. They're like drop that weapon, and then they fill him full of holes. That's making sure he drops the weapon. He was again vulnerable, kneeling, holding her lovingly, crying. I understand cops sometimes don't get it right, but they generally have some context of what's happening in a room and can, figure things out. They're not all autistic. So
Yeah.
they walk in and they see that and they immediately like, you're under arrest for murder. And then they like trump up charges on him. Like, I think it was like rape and then something else. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what evidence of that did you have?
Right.
So, like, again, I like Greg Rucka, and I think he was responsible for some of this. Like, Chuck Dixon's responsible for some of this.
Right.
Greg Rucka, and then some of these people I don't know. But those are the two main ones. And I like a lot of Greg Rucka's stuff. Like, he did the Wonder Woman book that we reviewed a while back. We've done some other Greg Rucka stuff, and it's pretty good. So is the Chuck Dixon stuff, generally speaking. I understand none of these people are, like, murder investigators, but this was a bit rushed. And it made it seem, and like the obvious people listening to this, like, isn't it obvious he was being set up? The cops don't know that, and that's the thing. The entirety of Batman Murderer, at no point is it revealed what evidence they had going into this. They had a 911 call that said, "Help me, he's killing me." That's what they had. They don't know who's on the other side of that. They don't know who the he is. Number one.
Right.
Number two, they had no preconceived knowledge that this was taking place or that Bruce Wayne was responsible for so for them to kick in the door guns a-blazing and immediately charge him with murder, I was like, I understand we want to get the kids to the mall, but boy, did we miss a few steps
Right
here.
there. Yeah.
So immediately I had a problem with this book. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the book. Its premise that Bruce Wayne is framed for the murder of one of his framed for yet another murder of yet another girlfriend. Don't date Bruce Wayne or you'll end up dead. You date Green Lantern, you end up in a refrigerator. You date Bruce Wayne, you just end up full of lead. So that was for you, Chris Bailey. So immediately I had a problem with the way this, like, I generally accept the overall premise, and I think as time goes on, because this whole thing is basically a murder mystery, and the mystery is who is setting him up and how did he set him up, and as more evidence comes out, like they eventually get the 911 tape, and they're like, how did that happen? Then they get the video, and I don't know if you're gonna how far into the book this is, so if I'm screwing up your sectioning,
it's all good, man. Go ahead.
They get the video footage of him buying a gun, and it's immediately suspect because Batman and Bruce
Why
Wayne
the hell?
Are not into guns. So why is he buying?
Right.
He's a billionaire with bodyguards, and he's Batman. Why does he need a gun? So they think that's doctored footage. Turns out it's not doctored. And then when they ask him about it, he's like, "Fuck you and the horse you rode in on." So again, a little suspect. Like, the book does a really good job of putting out there what if Bruce Wayne actually did. Like, you already know he didn't, but it plays with perspective from the rest of the Bat team.
The Bat family.
Because they don't know that, and he won't talk. And he's doing weird shit like buying guns, not talking, not giving anybody any idea of what's going on, not being cooperative, not trusting the Bat team. So everything he's doing makes him look suspicious. But for the reader, the omniscient reader who's seeing everything, you already know he didn't do this.
Right.
He wasn't there. He was out patrolling. But I think the book does a really good job of at least playing with that perspective and creating enough misdirection. And I like that the through line is this is a mystery, and your detective is Barbara Gordon. And now she's got all of these people out there doing stuff for her, but she's basically the one examining evidence, and she's the one that is deeply suspicious of Bruce because she doesn't fucking know whether or not he killed this lady. Right. All that stuff is good. So the fact that I'm harping on this a little bit, like, I wish they had taken a little bit more time to set this up to make it look like he had actually killed her so that the cops had a good reason to arrest him, because it starts off kind of weak and stupid. Like, the cops are in on it, except that they're not, because everything through Batman Bruce Wayne Murderer, at no point does any writer give any suspicion that the cops are in on this.
Right.
So I don't understand why they're so quick to arrest him when there's no evidence other than he happens to be standing there at the time.
Yeah.
Like, how fucking incompetent is Gotham PD?
Right.
I'll take a breath now so you can get in.
Well, the other name, I was just going to say, the other name that is doing some writing here, the Batman books, is Ed Brubaker. Brubaker. So he's also involved. We like a lot of what he's done. He was the GCPD guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so
Which is why I don't understand why starts off so bad.
it's you know,
Ed Brubaker kind of knows his stuff.
the police procedural stuff is
Yeah.
usually his strong suit, and that just seemed like it really, we got off to a start where it was like you're scratching your head like how they had to get him in jail somehow. It's like we got to get this guy in jail and accused of murder. And you, just like you said, I feel like they could have done a better job of kind of setting that up.
A lot of small change, like he's holding her and then he sees, and then the gun's there. If they just had the weapon at the scene, and Bruce Wayne picks it up and he just has it in his hands.
Yeah, something like that.
If you're
right.
Standing over a dead woman with a gun in your hands, I can kind of see why the cops would be like, "Hey, you're supposed to be the murderer." And then Bruce Wayne doesn't talk. He's
not helping himself.
And Doggy Style Bedroom isn't talking either. So I don't remember her name. So
I think that's on purpose now.
I think. How long have you been working with me? So Missionary Fairchild is, isn't talking either. By the way, the questioning of them two was so awful. Like, granted, I've never been really questioned by the police before. I'm not, in my long history of working in corrections, I was not present at any kind of interrogation, but that's not how it goes. This is like, all right, let's put the light on. You want to drink of water? You want to stick a ball? Okay. Tell me you murdered her. Like, what?
You're going to jail, right?
A little nuance, a little romance here. Can we have some
Did not
professionalism? Happen. No. They're like screaming at her. It's seriously, Gotham PD is full of fucking animals. It can't. No wonder the city is under siege and has to have a massive vigilante running around.
Sasha plays a big role in this in the beginning, but she, as we get through towards the end of this story,
she becomes Batgirl's like fucking sidekick.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, like midway through this, like they're hanging out, and she keeps like knocking her out and doing the nerve damage thing.
That's Stephanie Brown. That's spoiler. It's a different person. She doesn't get out. You talking about Sasha Bordeaux, the girl that got in jail with Bruce Wayne? She did not get out of jail.
No, she's out there doing like
that's not.
Things.
You're thinking of spoiler. Completely different person.
They have the same costume. It was confusing.
No, spoiler is somebody completely different.
Okay.
But yeah, I think her name's Stephanie Brown. She's like a teen, kind of like Robin analog of some sort. She's the daughter of
knocked out twice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was Sacha Baron Cohen.
No. Sasha Bedroom Eyes is still in jail at this time. Okay. What I was going to say is that she kind of falls off by the end of this book. Like you don't hear much
She's
about
fucking
her.
Left to rot.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the feeling you get because you don't hear much about her after this. And Bruce Wayne, as we find out here later, he's off. Bruce Wayne is no longer Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
So okay. Here are my notes here. I mean, there were some things that I liked about our opening issue here, the 10 cent adventure. I mean, aside from getting to hear the origin of Batman once again, that's become a meme, I think, at this point.
Skimmed entirely.
But a lot of the narration comes from Sasha as she's working alongside Batman that whole time. And it's interesting to see that he kind of starts to realize he's fighting an unwinnable war against crime. Like he realizes that even if like there weren't these supervillains in Gotham, crime would still be a thing. So no matter what he does, it's just never going to be something he can ever win.
Sure.
Which, hey, Bruce did talk down a tiger in that book. I mean, you don't get much of that. He goes into a zoo. There's a tiger loose.
Mm-hmm.
He stares the tiger down. The tiger goes back into its cell. Hey, I know it was a top tier moment in Bruce Wayne murderer. I'm not reading Batman, Batgirl, whatever at this point in time. I'm not reading any of the Bat books. I did find it interesting though. At this point, this is where Cassandra Cain figures out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Right. So that was pretty neat. But yeah, you talk about Batman kind of isolating himself when Dick Grayson comes to talk to him in jail.
Right.
And he's like, let me help you. and he does nothing but push them away.
Yeah.
He just
This series does not make Batman look good at all.
No. He's like, you need to stay out of this. Don't even. I'm like, why not? And I don't think we get an answer to that, really. Even as we get towards the end, when they actually have a confrontation, we don't really get the answer.
When you're ready to talk about his decision to kill the Bruce Wayne persona, I have a lot to say, but I'll tell you my favorite. Of the 2 or 3, 4, 5 dozen times he has the same conversation with every character on his side about how I don't want any of your help, go fuck yourself. My favorite one is with Superman.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that's coming up next. That was good stuff. So my question here is, again, why was he pushing those around him away? You just don't know the answer to that.
Yeah,
but
they kind of allude to he's never been the same since No Man's Land, but then they don't talk. You know how, like, when we read Salvation Run, they kept bringing up like all the events that led to sending all the supervillains of Salvation.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, the Wonder Woman's rampage, the Black Adam thing, all this. There was like 4 or 5 different things that had happened. I think like the Flash got shot. There was a few different things that had happened, and they were like, these are all the reasons why we're doing Salvation. And they kept saying it, and they kept saying it. Same thing with like Planet Hulk. They brought up a few times what had happened that the reason why the Illuminati had sent Hulk to Sakaar, or had sent Hulk to wherever they were going to originally send them, and he never made it. They don't do that here. They kind of go, he's never been the same since No Man's Land. Then they don't. I mean, even like in the years since Jason Todd's been killed and Barbara was in this universe, and Barbara was crippled, they at least, and I think the one thing, now that I'm saying that, now I'm kind of talking through it, the one thing they brought up is that Jim Gordon's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, No Man's Land happened, Jim Gordon got shot, and he's never been the same. And I kind of feel like that's the reason why he's behaving the way that he is, and I wish the book had done a better job of explaining that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other thing that I wrote down here, the last thing I had, was that having Bruce in prison was pretty, it was interesting to watch him kind of like try to be subdued, because he's in there as Bruce Wayne and he did not want to turn loose as Batman.
Been fairly obvious who he was if he had.
Yeah, and he finally gets pushed to that limit with those the 3 Aryan guys that come in there and try to mess him up, and he essentially wipes the floor with them. Puts 2 of them. I think 2 of them have internal bleeding or something. I mean, he messes them up really good.
Traction, right. They're like, why does the billionaire playboy know how to can take on 3 Aryans and put them in the hospital?
Right.
Like, something suspicious here. I think that's why he decided to break out at that point. He was like, I can't just I don't want to just sit here anymore. I want to go out and be Batman. I can't wait to talk about that. But also, like, if I sit here any longer, I'm going to give away that I'm Batman.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go ahead and we'll get into the next part, because I think that's where a lot of the meat of what you're wanting to talk about is going to be. These next few issues are parts 9 through 16. As Bruce Wayne's case winds forward, the emotional and psychological toll spreads beyond him, most sharply into Sasha Bordeaux. In Detective Comics number 767, she endures mounting legal pressure and brutal prison violence as prosecutors attempt to turn her against Bruce. Evidence continues to pile up: his violent outburst in prison, the traced gun purchase, the phone call to Vesper the night she died, chipping away at her certainty. For a moment, fear and isolation make her question what she believes. But when Bruce silently places a reassuring hand on her shoulder through the prison fence, Sasha recognizes that not the accused billionaire, but Batman. Her faith is restored, reinforcing the idea that whatever is happening, Bruce is playing a deeper game. Outside the prison walls, the Bat family begins to fracture under the weight of Bruce's silence. In Gotham Knights number 26, Dick Grayson and Tim Drake clash over whether faith in Bruce should outweigh objective truth, exposing a generational divide. Alfred, meanwhile, wrestles with the moral implications of murder and the spiritual cost it would carry for Bruce. When Bruce escapes custody in Batman number 600 and confronts his allies in the Batcave, the fracture becomes physical. Refusing to defend himself, he declares that Bruce Wayne was only ever a mask and abandons the identity entirely. His brutal fight with Nightwing, shattering Jason Todd's memorial in the process, symbolizes the severing of emotional ties. Bruce retreats to a hidden bunker, committing fully to only being Batman, convinced that attachments are liabilities. That emotional withdrawal intensifies in Gotham Knights 27, where Superman confronts Batman and refusing to clear his name. Bruce insists he has no name to clear, signaling that he views Bruce Wayne as disposable. Superman counters that retreating into the mask is not strength, but grief, reaffirming his belief in Bruce, even as Bruce refuses to believe in himself. Meanwhile, Alfred discovers a confidential journal in which Bruce questions whether surrounding himself with a surrogate family has comprised the mission. Now, see there. So now, thank you for what I comprised.
You said comprised. It's
yeah.
I'm sure you meant compromised.
I'm in recovery.
1,000 pardons, sir.
When the surrogate family has compromised the mission. The implication is chilling. Bruce may be reconsidering the very human connections that once grounded him. At the same time, the broader investigation begins turning from suspicion to strategy. In Nightwing number 66, Birds of Prey number 40 and 41, and Robin 99, Dick, Barbara, Tim, and their allies methodically eliminate suspects and uncover evidence suggesting the gun purchase and digital files linking Bruce to Batman were deliberately altered. Now, I don't know about the gun purchase itself. I feel like that was actually a thing.
No, he admits that he went and bought the gun, and then when they ask him fucking why, he's like, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, doesn't give him an answer.
Let me tell you how I fucking really hate Batman in this story. Like, it's a good story, and there's great characters and great writing here. I hate the character of Batman, and we're reading it in part because Batman's one of my favorite comic books. You know, I have a lot of his stuff. We've talked about a lot of his stuff. I was excited to do these with you. They've been on my shelf for years now, and can I just start talking?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you had like a question to start the discussion.
No, go ahead.
I fucking hate Batman. I really do. Like, this story makes him contemptible. Let me tell you how every decision he makes in this, I, as a reader, want to strangle him, and I think he's a coward and a pussy. He is not
making rational decisions, in my opinion. I mean, at least as far as I'm concerned.
He's, in my opinion, making immoral decisions, and I think he's making cowardly decisions. Like, I don't know how other people view Batman. I would imagine this is going to be a minority opinion, but I feel like the way this is written, and maybe purposely so, and I'm falling into the trap the writers laid, but his decision to just dump the Bruce Wayne persona and just be Batman screams cowardice, and I'll tell you why. It's a tacit admission that Bruce Wayne, even as a billionaire, has to play by rules and has limitations. As Batman, he doesn't face consequences. As Batman, he gets to just run around, beat the shit out of people, do what he wants. He doesn't have to follow police procedure. He can violate human rights whenever the hell he wants. The only thing stopping him is basically other heroes who kind of just give him a long leash and say, do whatever. Because the implication is Superman saying to him, I already know you didn't kill her. My question is, why are you going through the facade?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you allowing this drama to play out where you won't let anyone help you? You won't clear your name. This is dumb. Why are you doing this? And Batman, basically, his answer, the subtext of his answer is, wah, I don't want to be Bruce Wayne anymore. I don't want to be an adult. This is regression to my eyes. And again, I can already see by the face you're making, like, oh, Mark's reading way too much into something again.
No, I get it.
But this to me is character regression. This is, I don't want to be an adult anymore. This is like every time, like, either myself or a partner of mine just says, I don't want to be an adult, and like, I just want to sit home and eat Cheetos all day. I just want to eat beans all day.
Eat beans all day, baby.
I don't want to be an adult. I don't want to pay bills. I don't want to raise children. I just want to sit in my underwear and eat beans all day.
That's right, baby.
Fucking Batman just wants to eat beans. And for this more a Batman, I'm eating beans all day.
He can afford them grilling beans too. I tell you,
he can get them grilling beans. Alfred, get me some grilling beans. Sir, please take a shower. But that's like the whole thing. It's just like this happens to him. And I get like there's an argument to be made of he's had to deal with the murder of Jason Todd. He's had to deal with now the shooting of Commissioner Gordon. He's had to deal with the crippling of and murdering and possible sexual assault of Barbara Gordon. Like on top of the fact that his parents were killed, if in case you didn't know that, because that's a little known secret of Batman lore is that his parents were killed in an alley when he was 8.
Nobody told me about this.
No, it's not talked about much in movies or comic books. Anywho,
I heard the eyes roll.
Yeah. So, like, I get, like, he just fucking gave up. Like, it's all too much. Like, he's so traumatized by everything that's happened. And by the re-traumatizing of being out there in the street and dealing with the Joker and the Riddler and the Penguin, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I get how, like, you could get to a point of, like, that's it. I don't want to be Bruce anymore. If I'm Bruce Wayne, I have responsibilities and I have limitations. If I'm Batman, I can be anything I want unless Superman says I can't. And I'd rather just do that. I'd rather not have responsibilities. I'd rather not be a person. I would rather punch my way through the world than have to deal with my own problems. I think the writers did a really good job of presenting that as his kind of character arc. As a person who likes the Batman character, I don't like that for him. And I really want to draw that distinction. Like, I'm not complaining about this book or the writing. I actually think, now that I said that out loud, that's pretty brilliant writing on behalf of these guys. It's just like, this is a character that I really, really like. And I hate to see a character written this to have such poor in-story character.
Mm-hmm.
The more we talk about it, the more I'm saying this out loud, the more I'm realizing the story they're telling with Batman is just how fucked up he really is. And not that it's not said throughout the book. Everyone says it.
Yeah.
Barbara says it. Dick says it. Superman says it.
Tim says it. Yeah.
Tim says it. They're all like, he is coming apart at the seams. But, but the other thing he's really, really good at is pushing people away. And nobody, including Superman, wants to stop him, and they don't introduce any other characters. Like Hal doesn't show up with the ring and be like, "Please stop." Let's put you in a blanket burrito and swaddle you for a while. You traumatized thing, you. None of that. There's none of that. It's just like, it's kind of like the Bat family and Superman all realize what he's going through, and it's just kind of like, let him go through it. Like, what are any of us going to do? And if we interfere, it's just going to prolong this. So I actually think that's pretty brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, well, as far as interference goes, they are, as long as he doesn't know we're interfering, because I mean, they are definitely trying to clear his name.
Yeah,
they just don't want him to know it.
Yeah, it's great that you're going to be a traumatized child about this, and we'll just let you have your tantrum for now. But the rest of us adults are going to go and try to solve this murder, because I don't know if you know this in the middle of all your trauma and crying and carrying on and not wanting to be Bruce Wayne anymore, but there's a dead woman whose murder got pinned on you.
Right.
So
we might need to address this.
Yeah, let's maybe focus on something that isn't Bruce Wayne / Batman.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of this story really focuses on the doubt that can manifest and creep into all of the Bat family. I think it's Sasha's arc that story where she's in prison was really, I thought that was one of the better moments of what we've read, where she is going through everything in her head. The story is mainly told from her perspective, and she's going through everything in her head about, like, okay, is there a possibility that he did this? And everybody, now all the characters kind of go through this, where they're trying to make sure that, is there no doubt in their mind that Bruce could have killed this person? And Sasha talks herself into doubting that he could do it. And he's the way Blackgate is set up is, of course, really messed up.
Totally fictional.
There's only house is 900, but
Let me tell you how women and men are not in the same prison ever.
Yeah, I was going to say, and then what are they separated by like a chicken wire fence or something? I don't know. It was, it was right down the middle.
They were like a thin wall between them. Like, no, first of all, one, you don't put sentenced people. Let me tell you how jail and prison work. Okay,
tell me.
I had to explain this to somebody else. Jail is for non-convicted people and people who are sentenced to less than a year. If you are convicted and sentenced to more than a year, you go to prison. Now, once you're at prison, there's a men's prison and there's a women's prison, and they are not in the same building. You do not ever put men and women in the same building. When I worked in booking, they literally had to put women at the far side of booking and men at the other side, and God forbid any of them looked at each other. The cops jumped on them like dogs. Okay, let me tell you how many people I got seen dragged into a holding cell screaming because God forbid a man looked at a woman
what
in a second.
Oh my God!
By the way, you have to walk past the women's area to get to the phone.
Nice.
So all the guys are just like, oh God, I'm not looking. Please don't hurt me. But once they once they go through the booking process and they're marched off to their to their mods, yeah, the women have their own, and the jail that I worked in, the women and the men were in the same building because that was the entirety of the jail, but the mods were completely separate, and they were like literally on the other side of the jail from where the guys are. Like it was like if they looked at each other, that everyone would burst into flames. So I'm reading this and I'm just like, oh, pretrial people are set up with prison. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? Even in a like, I can accept that an alien fell from the stars and has god powers. I don't accept this.
Yeah, Alcatraz with both female and male prisoners. Why don't you
put fucking juveniles in there while you're at it?
Yeah, there you go. Brilliant. But yeah, I mean, there's a moment where she's really doubting if he possibly could have done this, and then he like reaches through after there's like some type of altercation, touches her shoulder through this chain fence or whatever. And
like that wouldn't have ended in him being fucking tased.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Solitary confinement. Sorry, I know too much about the prison system now.
Right.
I'm just reading this like, again, I more accept magic rings that can form solid objects than I believe this.
Yeah. But yeah, so the moment that he touches her shoulder, she looks at him, and she realizes all the doubt goes away, which everybody should be thinking the same thing. Like, he could not have done it. He should not. There's no way he could have. Because Bruce Wayne isn't that person that would murder somebody, but everybody doubts something.
Wouldn't that be some shit though? Like the guy that lets the Joker live on an ongoing basis and has killed and has allowed tens of thousands of people to get killed by the Joker, and ends up killing this woman. Is the one
guy. The thing is that there was that moment between when Sasha gets there to the cave that night, and he had those few minutes where he could have. So everybody's thinking it. Everybody's like, man, they can't figure out the motive. They don't know why, but he had the time to do it.
Well, that's the thing. As evidence starts to come out, they do have motive, because until they were able to disprove it, which they do later, and midway through the book, they think the reason why Bruce could have killed her, or at least it's setting up to look like he killed her, is because she was going to unmask him publicly.
Yeah, she was doing an investigation on him.
Right. And the evidence was pointing at she knew he was Batman, and that she was going to reveal his secret to the world, and that's why he killed her. That's the setup. Towards the end of the book, they get a hold of evidence that shows her tapes, her recordings are all doctored, and she doesn't know he's Batman, and all of that was made up.
Gotcha. Well, what do you think about Batman versus Nightwing and the confrontation they had in the Batcave?
Honestly, I don't even know why. Like, the stories where Dick won't talk to Batman anymore because he's just so annoyed with him make more sense to me than when Dick actually makes up with Batman and works with him. Because the whole transition from Robin to Nightwing is, I don't always agree with you. I want to be my own person. I don't want to be your extension anymore, your ward, your sidekick, your son, nothing. I want to be my own man, and I want to make my own decisions. And like, I've seen like Gen Z and millennials cut off boomers faster than fucking Dick cuts off Batman. So mine is just as contentious. I mean, like, I've never been a big Dick Grayson fan. I've never been a big Robin fan. Like, my exposure to his books is always through some like crossover like this.
Yeah.
Even like the Teen Titan stuff, because there have been some Teen Titan stories that have been interesting to me and and worth reading. Like the one with, oh gosh, the famous one that everyone likes, where it deals with Deathstroke.
Judas Contract,
yeah,
or
the Judas yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, something like that. There's that. And I think there's been some other Teen Titan stuff that we've read, and like that stuff I don't mind Dick Grayson enough, but I like Batman, and I've said this a million times, and I'll say it 1,000,001. I like Batman because of the detective element of his comic books. The more he's a superhero kind of stuff and he's just punching people, I get less interested in. Part of the reason why I wanted to read these was I was like, oh, these seem like gritty crime noir books rather than Batman punching his way through the world, or some stupid over-the-top villain thing. So, and I kind of got that with this, so I'm not unhappy. But you're asking me about Dick Grayson and Nightwing and everything, and I could care less about that character. Yeah, I'm not. I'm like, yeah. If you're ever like let's do some Nightwing books. Call Chris. Call either Chris's. Call Evan Bevins. Call anyone. Call Pat. I'm not a big Nightwing fan. However, by the way, the one caveat to that, anything having to do with him banging like the chick from the Teen Titans, that's the alien.
Starfire?
Yeah. Anything involving his relationship with Starfire, that I would be into.
All right, then.
Now you know.
Now I know.
So, but you asked me like, what did I think of the fight? I'm like, I think it was a long time coming. I think writing wise, it was handled well, because if you're Dick, how fucking much patience do you have for Bruce at this point?
He's extremely loyal to Batman, and I think that's what makes it tough and makes him
he's
so
like his dad,
right?
And like, granted, you can't really use me for this because, but like, how often does somebody want to hit their father? I mean, me on an ongoing basis, but most normal men don't really want to punch their father out. I would like to think, but like I said, I don't know. Bruce and Dick are kind of the archetype, like, contentious father-son relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And Dick just losing his fucking mind, because Bruce is being so stubborn, and then coming to blows, because that's what they do. It made sense to me. I mean, and them smashing Jason's thing, like, that made me sad.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where if I saw it on screen, I'd start to cry a little bit. Because, like, we all know what Jason means to Bruce and what Jason means to the larger Bat family, and how he went out. So, oof.
Yeah. Get a crowbar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that also Dick and Tim having discussions on how they, if Batman did it or not, if Bruce did it or not. And I think Tim looks at it as at a very logical. He's the detective, and Nightwing is the son. And there's a great conversation that they have where
Tim Drake is great. See, I have less of a problem with. I don't want to read his comics either, but I have less of a problem with Tim Drake than I do Dick Grayson, because Tim is like, I'm okay with the Robin personas, and I'm okay with Batman, but boy, is he not always right. And I think I'm just going to do my own thing.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, this is where you were talking about Bruce getting a gun, and very publicly, mind you, which we still don't find out by the end of the story as to why he did that. He is asked about it. He says, no, you won't understand. So that's really a big question mark.
It was almost treated like a married guy seeing a prostitute, but like he has a good marriage. like why would you go to a prostitute then? You have a wife that gives up that has sex with you, treats you well. Why do you need a prostitute? It's like, I just needed to feel something.
I don't know.
That's how it was. That's how it came across to me, at least. Like the buying of the gun was a feeling that he was searching for.
Yeah, it was something. He was definitely either. Well, again, we don't know because he won't give us any answers.
Well, I think there's a lot of inference there because it's even said in the text he could have had Alfred go get that gun.
Yeah, well, he could get it any other way.
Yeah.
And not actually be public about it. The one guy that's, extremely secretive already could get a gun.
He goes out in the fucking street and beats criminals to death.
Right.
I don't know if you know this or not, but they're carrying guns when he does it.
Right. He could have stole one of those and used it. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That's why I said that's why I'm sticking to and I'm doubling down on. There's something that happens psychologically when you actually buy a gun, and I think he was chasing a feeling. Like I said, there's like a guy who goes to see a prostitute who, like, this isn't really about sex anymore. This is about how I need to feel something.
Well, we're not going to get our answer here. That's for sure. Because these next final issues aren't even going to be, I don't know how many of these issues we're going to get into that are related to this plot.
Let me tell you how 2/3 of this book are awesome. And the 1/3 of this book is like, well, this is a giant waste of my time.
Right. Last 8 issues.
This is where he fights like the man duck bat. The Chinese Peking duck man bat. Oh, I'm so done with it.
With Bruce Wayne publicly branded a fugitive, Batman number 601 and 602 shifts focus to how he functions with the Bruce identity at all, without the Bruce identity at all. Operating solely as Batman, he refuses Alfred's pleas to reclaim the man behind the mask and instead throws himself into stopping Nicodemus, a fire-wielding vigilante targeting corrupt officials. What initially appears to be ideological cleansing is revealed as calculated revenge by Councilman Thomas Hart, whose parents' murder was buried by corruption years earlier. Hart positions himself as a twisted mirror of Batman, arguing Gotham is beyond saving and must be burned clean.
The line of guys saying that forms to the left.
Yeah. Bruce rejects that philosophy outright. Even while cut off from his name and family, he still believes Gotham can be redeemed, marking a crucial distinction between vengeance and justice. That ideological tension continues in Detective Comics 769 to 770, where Batman tracks poisoned heroin flooding Gotham streets. Ekinzu, Peking Duck Batman, another zealot who views himself as a divine purifier, sees Batman as a kindred spirit. Bruce firmly rejects the comparison, saving lives rather than sacrificing them for a greater good. Yet even as he defeats Ekin, the arc reveals deeper political corruption and a larger conspiracy tied to powerful interests.
When you're done with me tonight, I'm going to need you to go to Sunu and make yourself a Peking Duck Batman song.
I can do that. That is the nice little prompt right there for Remy to tear it up.
There you go.
The pattern is clear. Gotham's rot runs systemic and calculated, not chaotic. Bruce is fighting enemies who weaponize ideology and corruption, while he himself remains publicly accused of murder and cut off from the life that once shielded him. Meanwhile, the Bat family begins uncovering concrete proof that Bruce was
the proof is on fire.
That Bruce was framed. In Batgirl number 27, Cassandra Cain discovers Vesper Fairchild was incapacitated with a precise nerve strike right before her death. Evidence Bruce could not have inflicted in the manner described. In Nightwing number 68 and 69 and Gotham Knights number 28, Dick, Tim, and Alfred analyze doctored surveillance footage, trace unexplained power outages, and ultimately uncover physical evidence of a covert intrusion into the Batcave itself. Infrared smoke tests reveal hidden entry points on the Wayne estate, and damaged electronic components confirm that someone infiltrated the cave and planted equipment prior to the murder. The frame-up is no longer theoretical. It is engineered. As Bruce distances himself further, declaring Bruce Wayne disposable, his allies step further outside the law to protect his name. Nightwing steals official case files. Tim digs through digital trails, and Cassandra exhumes a body to uncover the truth.
And Cassandra grave robs.
Yes, she does. It is pretty gruesome. While Bruce isolates himself emotionally and ideologically, choosing to operate only as Batman, the people he once mentored refuse to let him abandon the man beneath the mask. The contrast sharpens. Bruce believes severing ties makes him stronger. But it is those very connections that are now assembling the evidence to bring him back from the brink and prove that Bruce Wayne was never the villain of this story. So there you go. That's how we're wrapping things up. I mean, I'll throw my notes out here real quick. Like I said, there are a lot of side stories that were thrown into this trade.
Yup.
I'm really surprised that they didn't go and be like, all right, from the pages of Batman 601, and then just take those like 2 pages that kind of, apply. But the Nicodemus stuff, I mean, it was a good story, I think. I mean, I like the story, but like you said, it's a little bit
shows up again in Fugitive.
Okay. All right. So that makes sense. Then we have the heroine story, which I think was titled Purity, which is interesting because they drop us into that story at part 2. And
God, if you're reading the Batman book, what happened to the murderer storyline?
There was
it just gets dropped.
There was one where I was sitting there. It was Nightwing, and Dick goes back to Bloodhaven, and he's facing off we end the issue where he's facing off against this huge bulking dude named Amygdala.
Yeah,
and you don't see anything of that after that. You don't know. I mean, granted, that's not part of what we're wanting to learn about, but boy, there was some continuity weirdness because they had all these titles going on and this story at the same time. And
when they made this trade, they really should have done how some trades where they're only taking parts of books and editing them together to make one slick trade. That's what needed. That's what this needed.
Yeah. And there was another point where it legitimately jumped to part 8 of Bruce Wayne Fugitive after part 3. I think it was after part 3 or part 4. And then it was part 8. I was like, what the hell? And it was it was in the middle of the Peking Duck Batman story where it did that, which didn't make any sense to me. Again, it was a lot of side tangents, a lot of stuff that really didn't. Again, this is the trade, whatever, that's fine. It's nice to see we actually get some evidence or at least some stuff that kind of supports that Bruce didn't do this. Cassandra finding the nerve strike, which places a tiny fracture on a person's jaw. And we learn that obviously plays out through the issue because she hits spoiler with it twice, which is hilarious. She knocks her ass out twice. And then she goes and finds that on Vesper Fairchild's body. But yeah. That was a bit gruesome, by the way. Her digging it up, and then Cassandra Cain waking up and looking over, and there's Vesper kind of laid up against her tombstone, and Batgirl's just kind of off pondering life.
I really like the way they wrote Barbara Gordon in this story.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Oracle is usually she's usually the guy in the van, kind of. That's her character since she's been shot by the Joker. Here, she's kind of running the show. It says Batman, Bruce Wayne, murderer, but this is as much a Barbara Gordon story, this is a testing of faith. This is about loyalty. This is about competence, and her relationship with Black Canary is amazing. Because that issue where she gets her to go into the bank, it was one of my favorites. Wait, where do I go? What do I do? Run fast. Thanks. I see why we call you Oracle.
Yes.
But how much love and how much faith and trust is there between Barbara and Dinah that Dinah is willing to just take orders essentially from Barbara?
Yeah, Barbara has to be very careful of who knows Bruce's identity as Batman, which is really Dinah does not. And Dinah has no idea that Bruce is Batman, and she's taking these orders. How does this? She questions it maybe once or twice, but she goes and does exactly
bullshit in the world that half the Justice League doesn't know who Batman is.
Yeah, I mean,
how does no one talk about this? Wonder Woman knows who he is. Superman knows who he is. The main members of the Justice League all know. No, Green Arrow knows who he is. He's never once told Black Canary, weren't they a thing? How have you never whispered, after the, in the throes of passion, oh, by the way, Bruce Wayne
call me Batman.
Yeah, call me Bruce. What? Like, there's no fucking way his secret's been that well kept by the Justice League.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Well, yeah, I mean, then I forgot, and I didn't put, this is not in the synopsis because it's just clearly the stuff about the triad and the mortician and the zombies. Like, I forgot all about that. I mean, that was just like completely off the trail yet again.
This is kind of.
I'm like, what is going on here?
Words. Suddenly I'm reading Guardian Devil.
Oh boy. I will say the Batgirl issues move fast. There is a lot less attention to dialogue, and it's more show than tell, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like the fact that we finally get some evidence. You know, I love the idea of smoking the hull that Alfred comes up with, where they're like, well, we got to figure out how did somebody get into the Batcave, and it took those three to kind of come up with an idea. Nightwing, you know, Alfred is the one's like release some smoke, and Tim's like, yeah, but make it infrared, like so nobody else can see it. Only we can on a certain spectrum.
Gas,
some type of gas. That's right.
And then they're able to see it through like infrared or whatever, and then Dick finds whatever machine was in the Batcave.
They can't figure it out. It was like through some kind of there's like a barn on the property, and there was, you know, somebody had been in that. He scales down into the cave and he finds the like wires and some kind of device of some sort. That's kind of where we leave it, though. I mean, we finally get some evidence at the end of this.
Weird place to end the book.
I thought it was going,
considering he's been a fugitive already.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I don't. It's on my shelf, but I think like the fugitive book is smaller than the murderer book. Which, again, why didn't this just end with him breaking out of Blackgate, and that's the end of Batman Murderer?
I don't know. I do not know why they decided to go into fugitive. And really, I mean, like I said, all the issues past Bruce Wayne Murderer that were added into this trade, like a bunch of them didn't need to be. Yeah. A bunch of them didn't need to be. So I don't know why.
That is the weakness of this story, is that if you edit it to just the murderer stuff, it's a nice story about how the Bat family is trying to figure out how they more or less believe he was framed.
Mm-hmm.
How was he framed is the mystery.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff. Everything that isn't how he was framed is bullshit. And for that, like, I like the main story. All the side stuff is shit. It's not interesting at all. Again, him and Peking Man-Bat is not interesting to me. You know, the stuff with Dick, you know. Then there's that one, like, 2-part story where the one kid gets, like, kidnapped for figuring out how to cheat at gambling.
Oh yeah, this is in the Tim Drake Robin book.
Yeah, and I'm like, why is this here? What does this have to do with anything?
Again, it's I understand. Number one, it's early 2000s DC. We got all these titles going on at the same time, so we got to kind of stick to their storylines, their continuity, whatever, and kind of okay. You guys are here for the Robin story, but we got to sprinkle a little Batman fugitive in here too every once in a while. So here's about 2 or 3 pages of Barbara Gordon talking to Tim Drake, and then. Oh, we're back to Kip Carrington being abducted. This trade could have been 20 times shorter.
Yeah.
I mean, but look, I get it. You're kind of a slave to, you know, what you want to give your readers. And if your readers are counting on that Kip Carrington story and everybody at Brentwood, and by golly, if Tim Drake's dad, Jack.
I was like, and poor Tim Drake's dad is now fucking, you know, lost all of his. I'm reading some of this. I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry you lost all your investments. Join the club.
Yeah. He bet on Bitcoin. Oh, bummer. Well, there you go. I mean, that's all I had. I don't know if you had anything else here for the final bit.
Like I said, I'm in it for the first 2/3, and then we get to that last couple of issues where it's just Peking Man-Bat and the zombies and like all this bullshit that has nothing to do with the murderer storyline, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm like, words.
It's
like,
so funny.
I'm glad we read this. I'm glad we're talking about it, but it's not perfect.
There was a point where I was going to get upset because I thought in your trade you had the condensed, like, just straight up little bits of Bruce Wayne murderer and fugitive that mattered. And I was reading the whole issue, and I had to suffer through all that BS because I was actually reading the digital floppies, if you will. But then I found that an edition of the trade online, and I was looking through it, and I'm like, nope, he had to suffer the same way I did.
Oh yeah. So you had sent me a thing like, hey, you better get started reading this. It's a wordy tomb. So Erica and I went naked swimming on Saturday, and then I came back. I was out in the sun all day. Yeah, they're doing some renovations at the naked swimming hole, and where there's normally shade in the conversation pool, there's no longer shade. You're somewhat shaded by Florida clouds and a building, but there's no like tarps underneath anymore. You know, in case anyone's happened to be going to the particular naked swimming hole that I'm referring to, it's under renovations and the tarps are no longer there. I'm sorry to say.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, and you're being your comic book show. I'm sure this was very important information that people needed. So I was out. The point of me bringing that up was
I don't know if that's going to make the final cut. I really don't.
What got cut? So I was naked swimming. Don't you understand?
I have a what got cut that's an hour and a half long right now, over like 20 episodes.
No, yeah,
it's pretty crazy. This will make it.
Perfect. I'm glad I made the cut. I'm glad I'll be longer on that than I am in this episode. When Jesse's done with me.
What got cut's an hour and a half long because that's all of you on Joe the Barbarian.
Thank you. Anyway, so I was out in the sun all day is the point of that story. So we get back to the house, and I start to read Batman Murderer because I'm like, I gotta take some time.
Gotta get it in.
Yeah, Jesse told me to start reading the story, and I knew I was going to have a lot of time today, but, you know, things do happen, and I don't always have as much time as I think I do. And I didn't want a She-Hulk situation where I'm, like, literally, like, trying to finish it before the podcast starts. So I start reading it, and I fucking passed out. I couldn't. I'm like,
Ooh.
and they're like, and Batman killed Vesper Fairchild. Out I went. I got woken up for dinner. Then I watched The Elimination Chamber, and then I read about a third of the book.
Mm-hmm.
So I started it Saturday night, and then I finished it. I got up this morning.
This morning, I think.
Yeah, I got up this morning about 7 a.m. Weirdly enough, I still slept like 9 hours, but which is rare for me. But I got up, and I was like, I gotta read this book. And Eric is just like, and I'm like, ply your wares elsewhere. I have things to do.
I have comics to read.
I have comics to read. So, yep, I did the ultimate nerdy thing, turned down sex for reading.
I was going to say,
you know,
not a badge you need to be wearing.
It's all right. It's always there when I want it. So, my point is, I read the book this morning, and I finished it just in time to leave to go see Scream. But you're right. It is. I mean, it took me 6-7 hours, I think, total.
Yeah, I spent
through this thing.
So I essentially will read the issue and then make my notes. I've started doing things different now. Yeah. Instead of I used to sit there and I'd drag, I'd do a digital way of with ChatGPT. Now what I do is I'll read the issue and I'll dictate what's happening to ChatGPT so I get the summary and make my notes at the same time, which helps.
You know what I like? That's all you, and I don't have to do shit. I just have to come on here and be entertaining.
Oh, well. All right, then. That's nice.
Yeah. That's why I get cut out of Joe the Barbarian, though, because if I'm not entertaining, just like cutting room floor.
Cutting room floor right on the bottom. Oh, my goodness. Well, okay, so next up is going to be Bruce Wayne Fugitive.
Yep.
The second half of that.
Yeah, that's going to be, I just did the schedule today. That's the same day that Fra Diavolo, Master of Ovens, comes out.
Oh, like nice.
Fifth full-length album, I think.
Very nice.
Recipes for the Damned, Holidays Are Hell, Grandma's Candy, Grandma's Country Kitchen. And yeah, this is number 4, Master of Ovens. So
nice.
That'll be the same day we do Batman, Bruce Wayne, Fugitive.
Love it. Well, let's go ahead and get into the rest of the plugs. What else is on the schedule?
Well, this is source material live, so if you've been watching this video, or if you are watching this video at some point in the next couple of days, here's what's happening. Tomorrow we'll review Scream 7. I liked it a lot more. I was not looking forward to it at all. It was literally a schedule obligation. I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would. It definitely returns to like the form of like making fun of itself. And it definitely acknowledged the fact that this is a fucking 30-year-old franchise or some shit. So there's that. We have a double dose of Damn You Hollywood this week. Thursday is our Best Picture Oscar nomination show. So we will go over all 10 of the Best Picture nominations, and then we'll, give our guesses for the rest of the Oscar noms. That'll be fun. No show this Sunday. I will be judging an MMA fight. Next week, we'll do a Damn You Hollywood for Hoppers, the new Pixar movie. Alexis is reviewing A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I guess that's a Game of Thrones spinoff. And then a week from Thursday, Robert gets his shot at triple feature, and gets to finally do a director focus. This is yet again another Robert show. This is why he picks at me at this. This is yet another Robert show. I've had to postpone 3 different times due to scheduling reasons. So I was like, I'm never going to move the show. Like, this has to be where it is.
Got to get it done.
Yeah, we've had this Roland Emmerich show planned for like 2 years now. We're looking at the day after tomorrow, 2012, and The Patriot.
Ooh, good stuff.
Weirdly enough, like Gavin and Pat were like, "What the fuck with the Roland Emmerich show? Why is The Patriot here?" I'm like, "Because it was directed by Roland Emmerich. Like, what do you want me to put? Godzilla, which we've already reviewed."
I don't know what else he's done that's in the same vein.
I mean, Roland Emmerich's known for a lot of disaster
Independence Day, right?
But like I said, I've reviewed Independence Day.
Yeah.
I've reviewed Independence Day, I reviewed Godzilla. Like, I reviewed Moonfall when it came out. Like, I've done a fair amount of Roland Emmerich already. So, like, this is what was available.
Peking Duck Batman, going crazy like a madman. Peking Duck Batman. No more penguins in the Arctic. No girly for my sidekick. Back with a vengeance. Your man is gone and now you're friendless. You just lost a man that could have been with the one to make you famous. Back in the 80s, they called him Prince. What? But now he's nameless? I know he saved you, but you got to move on, baby. Peking Duck Batman, going crazy like a madman. Peking Duck Batman.
So 2 things. One, when you make that, it has
give me the genre.
Okay. So what? So it has to be Chinese. You have to have like Chinese sounds in there. But are we making a metal song here, or like what are we doing?
I don't know, man.
Because I'm thinking like 60s era na 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 Batman.
60s camp.
60s camp, but also Chinese.
Okay, all right.
I need lots of gongs and
oh boy. It's the most offensive song I've ever created.
A racist Batman song. Could you do that for me, please?
Oh, a swinging 60s camp track with Chinese pop influences opens with perky pentatonic melodies on eru and bright, jangly electric guitar, a bubbly rhythm.
Read me what's at the bottom of the style prompt. Like, what
okay,
else we
all
add?
right. We've got epic orchestral metal.
That
okay.
No, I'm sorry. We're trying to keep it 60s campy. Never mind.
All right. Light jazz, house pop, organic.
Organic.
What organic? Okay.
I want organic in there.
Vocalist. Why can't I scroll over? This thing will not allow me to scroll over.
You're probably touching the wrong part.
I touch plenty of parts, and they're all the right ones.
Oh, sorry. Whatever. You want to come naked swimming with me and show me all the parts you touch?
I touch parts.
You better get consent first.
That's my next song. My next song is going to be called I Touch Parts.
Good. Consensually. Make sure you put consensually.
I cannot scroll over. I don't know why this is not allowing me to scroll over. I can't do it.
You're touching the right, like the scroller and not like the thing to extend the size. This is all sexual, by
the way. Yeah. Duly noted. Here, I will show you what problems I am having. Let's just do this because we might as well
touching it and making it move.
I do not want to hit that. Give me a second here. That's sexual too. I didn't mean for it to sound like that though.
This whole podcast has gone in the toilet since I brought up naked swimming. It's my fault.
It is your fault. All right. So,
Like that fucking helps me.
like this right here, I cannot get this thing to scroll over. There's no way for me to
That's
do it.
not the scrolling thing. Yeah, that does that.
Yes, I cannot. Where?
It's not there.
Correct. So
That's
I can't.
The problem.
Oh, thanks. All right. We're creating this right now. We're going to listen to it.
It's like an impromptu sessions.
Yes, it is.
So do I get this song or are you keeping it?
If you want it, you can have it. I don't know what I would be doing with it. Aside from
this feels like an because this feels like because when we did this the last time, it ended up becoming a Rad Religion Network broadcasting song. I don't see why this wouldn't be.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, here we go. First one.
Peking Duck Batman, going crazy like a madman. Peking Duck Batman. No more penguins in the Arctic. A new girlie for my sidekick. Back with a vengeance. Your man is gone and now you're friendless. You just lost.
All right, I don't know about that one.
No, that's funny though. All right, yeah. We need to rock this up a bit.
What do we need?
We need to rock this up a bit.
Okay.
Do like 60s British rock.
60s British rock.
Oh, leave all the rest of it in there.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I wanted that added to it.
60s British rock.
Yeah, and then magic prompted again. Also, what else can we add at the bottom? Like, if you add stuff at the bottom, it'll move it for you.
Like I was moving stuff, like I would do that, and it would go away. But I cannot, for some reason, scroll over like it was letting me.
Weird.
I can do this.
There you go. Now you're cooking.
That. Yeah, look at that.
Look at that. All right, now tell me what we can add.
All right, so we got 60s. Hold on a second. 60s British rock.
Yeah.
I got to put that in there. Rock. All right, so then we got vocalist, no vocal, light jazz, hardcore, soundtrack, 145 beats per minute.
Add soundtrack.
Add soundtrack. Japanese vocal.
It has to be Chinese.
Oh, that's right. Well, then we could just type in Chinese vocal, and I don't know how that would sound, to be honest. I don't know.
It's going to do whatever the fuck it wants anyway.
Yeah. Jolly.
Yes.
Okay. Harmonica. Guttural growls, style kaipa. The hell?
The fuck does that mean?
Illbient.
Ambient?
No, illbient. ILLBIENT.
Sure.
That sounds great. Gangsta drill rap, celebratory and deep bass line.
Definitely celebratory.
All right.
Now magic prompt it.
Here we go. What kind of spawn of Satan are we going to get? It's going to be scary.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay.
Can you move the thing back now? This is weird.
I will.
I'm looking at it.
I don't like looking at it. Oh yeah. Okay. Here you go.
What are you doing?
It is not me. It is the website. There. All right. Here we go. Rendition of Peking Duck Batman.
Yes.
Peking Duck Batman, going crazy like a madman. Peking Duck Batman. No more penguins in the Arctic. A new girlie for my sidekick. Back with a vengeance. Your man is gone and now you're friendless. You just lost a man that could have been the one to make you famous. Back in the 80s, they called him Prince, but now he's nameless.
That's a good joke.
I know he saved you, but you gotta move on, baby. Peking Duck Batman, going crazy like a madman. Peking Duck Batman. Call me the up.
I gotta say, I like that one.
Play the other one.
All right. Here's the next one. Cracked me up.
Taking the madman, going crazy like a madman. Taking the Batman. No more penguins in the Arctic. A new girlie for my sidekick. Back with a vengeance. Your man is gone and now you're friendless. You just lost a man.
What are we going for? Is that the first one or the second one?
It's the first one, definitely.
Yeah, I would have to.
Hang on, I got it now. I'm trying to like do a thing for the album cover.
For being
What was Peking Duck's Batman's actual name?
Ekin Zoo, and I don't know if he had like a name for, but it's EKIN space TZU.
Okay,
You.
so I'm finally on the same page as fucking ChatGPT. Well, I keep referring to him as King Duck Batman.
Oh, that's good stuff.
That's actually funny and not inaccurate. Ekin Zoo absolutely reads like what happens when early 2000s Batman crossover decides we need an exotic mystical prison boss and then layered on stylized martial arts iconography. Hang on. Great. Well, we turned that into a song. Well,
Please do.
Well, we turned Peking Duck Batman into a song, and now I need an album cover. What can we do legally?
Going crazy like a madman. Peking up back man. They call me the other man now. They call me Robin when we get down.
Call the song Peking Duck Batman. Parentheses. That way, we're not citing the character, but making up something new. Can you do another iteration and make it a little bit heavier?
Heavier version of it.
Yeah.
Let's do this. You want the same sound or
yeah, just make it. Yeah, just like make it more Chinese and make it more Chinese and more like British invasion rock.
Okay.
If we can get the Opium Wars in there. Make it more Opium Wars. Can you do that? Call the song Peking Duck Batman. That way we're not citing the character and we're making up something new. On parentheses. The band is Radlich in Broadcasting Network. I like how everything now is becoming a fucking sessions.
Oh, that's why not?
Album covers are square.
All right, let me see what I got here. I did a cover of it with the different genre that you gave me there. So let me share my screen here real quick. Share my audio. They come up with something crazy.
Oh my god, Jesse. This is so good.
Oh boy. Let me play this one real quick, see what we got. Share my screen there real quick. All right, let's see if we got anything heavier here.
I love it.
Peking duck Batman, going crazy like a madman. Peking duck Batman, no more penguins in the Arctic. A new girlie for my sidekick, back with a vengeance. Your man is gone and now you're friendless. You just lost a man that could have been the one to make you famous. Back in the 80s, they called him Prince, but now he's nameless. I know he saved you, but you gotta move on, baby. Peking duck Batman, going crazy like a madman. Peking duck Batman. Call me the other man now. They call me Robin when we get down. Gotham needs saving. You're not the one, girl. Face it, there will never be another one like him. So don't replace him. You lost a good man. It could have been the one to make you famous. Back in the 80s, they called him Prince, but now he's nameless. I know he saved you, but you gotta move on. Peking duck Batman, going crazy like a madman.
Yes, sir.
Peking duck Batman.
Playing my pan flute. Seems to be another 30 seconds of that. You want it to fade out any at all or anything like that? Or are you good with it?
I mean, I want to hear how. Let me hear how it ends.
Okay. Oops.
No, for God's sakes.
Oh my gosh.
Peking duck Batman, going crazy like a madman. Peking duck Batman. Peking duck Batman, going crazy like Batman.
You know,
Let me
the
hear
last
you
thing I even expected tonight was that.
No, not at all.
Not at all. All right, here we go. Here's our second one.
Peking duck Batman.
I'm going crazy like a madman. I'll have this in my head.
Duck Batman.
Oh yeah.
No more penguins in the Arctic. A new girl for my sidekick. Back with a vengeance. Your man is gone and now you're friendless. You just lost a man that could have been the one to make you famous. Back in the 80s, they called him Prince, but now he's nameless. I know he saved you, but you gotta move on, baby. Peking duck Batman, going crazy like a madman. Peking duck Batman. Call me the other a man now. They call me Robin when you get down.
Well, we've annoyed Robert.
Don't need swinging funk. No one needs swunk. Welcome to the show, Robert.
Not the one girl, face it, there will never be another one like him. So don't replace him. You lost a good man. It could have been the one to make you famous. Back in the 80s, they called him Prince, but now he's nameless. I know he saved you, but you gotta move on, baby.
Peking Duck Batman.
Peking Duck Batman.
Going crazy like a madman.
Crazy like a madman. Peking Duck Batman.
I like that second one.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Number 2.
So, yeah, you're gonna need to send that to me. So I would like to now show you the album cover.
Oh, yes, please. Let me stop sharing here. Give me just a second.
Yep.
Download the file. Oh, oh my gosh.
How fucking amazing is that?
Peking Duck Batman.
Yeah, I separated Bat and Man so we don't get in trouble with DC Comics. It's now owned by Paramount, by the way.
That's so. What is he holding weapons? Is that what he has in his hands there
I
of
feel
some
like
sort?
Those look like pencils, but I'm wondering if there's like they're nails.
Well, he is going crazy like a madman, if you ask me.
Yes, that is our Peking Duck Batman.
Oh wow! Like I said,
Amazing.
Bruce Wayne murderer, or affectionately known now as Peking Duck Batman. Wow. Well, this has been a road that I did not expect to go down this evening. When we went down,
we're in the middle of
road.
plugs, by the way. I just want you to know that.
Yes. Did you get yours done?
I'm so done.
Okay, he's done. Well, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, go check out the Source Material Comics podcast feed. There's all sorts of great podcasts on there. We're talking about comics. Of course, me and Mark Radulich get together here and talk on Source Material a lot. You can go listen to our discussion on Nameless, which I think is dropping tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That should be
in the year of our Lord 2025.
That is going to be a discussion.
Sure.
You can hear me and Mark talk the ever crazy mind of Grant Morrison and some of the whacked out stuff he can put out there when somebody just decides not to edit this guy. And then, the Unspoken Issues podcast where we talk 90s comics all the time. Me and Chris Armstrong and Evan Bevins just got together and talked Generation. Oh my goodness, hold on. It's 2099. It's not Generation X. That's not what it was. X Nation is what it was. X Nation 2099 number 1. That was a poll winner. And then, of course, the Snap Material podcast where me and Evan Bevins get together and talk Marvel Snap. So check that out. With that being said, we're getting out of here. Over there is Mark Radulich. He's probably got to pee.
Hang on. Let me help you. Oh, fuck. So, for Jesse Starcher, I'm Mark Radulich. This has been the Source Material Podcast.
Shameful. Oh, yeah. Are you just going down?
This is what Jesse...
It continues to go. It's me.
This is what Jesse's thinking right now. You may go now, Jesse.
You tell him to be well and be safe and behave or something.
Be well, be safe, and be... Wait, we got a comment. I'm sure. Oh no, tomorrow's going to be so rough. Oh, you have no idea.
Oh boy.
Okay,
oh, boy.
for Jesse, I'm Mark. Be well, be safe, and behave.